Hey YouTube friends, it's been a while since we got together. I've been really busy at work and a lot of things going on at church, around the house, so I haven't had time to get out and fish or do anything. But today I have a project that I'm doing and I thought I'd take you guys along to see what's gonna happen here. So my trailer is a tandem. It has a brake system to it, and so the other day I was checking out the tire. I was rotating the tire, and I noticed that one side of my brake has totally worn out. It's metal on metal. So I said, oh man, I can't take this out with a metal on metal brake system on this trailer. So I decided that today I'm gonna change the brake system. And also that day that I was rotating the tires, I spun the wheels. The back tires were grinding, so it's a sign that the bearings are bad. So what I'm gonna do today is take the tires apart, take the brakes apart, and while I'm taking all the brakes apart, might as well just take the bearings out and replace the bearings. The front tires, I looked and they're okay, but the back tires are the ones that are getting bad. So let's get into it. So as far as safety wise, I'm a true believer in being safe, whatever you're doing. So today the safety condition is that we're gonna lift up the trailer, but then we're gonna have our jack support to support it so it doesn't fall. Plus, I have the trailer hooked up to my truck, so there's no way that the trailer is gonna be moving back and forth. So if we're working on it, it won't fall on you. See how this brake pad right here, it's metal on metal. If you spin it, you can hear it grinding. So let's put our support under for safety. Look at this, one side is in, but this one's cracked, and the other side is totally worn out. I'm just wondering if this broke off and came off, or if this one's chipped. You see this line here chipped, like it's gonna fall off. And this one, I think it probably fell off. Did not wear down to it, but I think it fell off. I'm gonna put cardboard underneath just in case we get grease coming out. Or so to take this apart, simply take a mallet and simply tap, turn, tap, turn. Do it lightly, you don't want to break it. Yep, like I said, it'll come out. Even though it's not milky, this is a sign that water got in there and all the grease was mixed with some water. Not a lot of water, but some water, because it should not be milky like this. It's not milky like milk color, but this is still liquidy. and that's a sign that water got in. So a good thing we're replacing that too, because we're going to tighten it up and seal it tighter when we get done. So let's clean this up, and we'll take the bearings out. So we'll wipe off this grease here. We'll take off this castle nut. Take a needle nose, bend this pin out. Here we go, I got the pin out. I'll just pull this castle nut out. Gonna wipe it clean. It's a number 29. You guys ever get a, you don't have a number 29, if you don't have a 29 or so, just take a big wide one like this, and you can still take it out this way by turning it. It shouldn't be so tight on there. So once you turn it, take it out. There we go. And I'm gonna wipe this clean too. Take this washer out. This washer holds the bearings in there. Just be careful, don't strip your threads on your axle. Just do it lightly, have patience. Here we go. And we're gonna wipe this clean too. Put in the oil that you took it apart so that you will not have a problem putting this back together later. And here's the outer bearing right here. You could pull it out like this. And here's the outer bearing. It looks like it's okay. If you turn it, it sounds like it's okay, but I could feel it that there's some debris inside of there. If you look at it, you hear it. Looks like it's okay. But I'm gonna replace it anyway because I'm gonna do this the right way. Since I'm replacing it, I'm replacing the whole thing. Then now you can just take the hub out like this. Any cuts, wipe off any metal shavings that was in there before. And we're gonna clean this one out. See how there's another bearing inside there. The outer bearing's okay, but the inner bearing's bad because you can hear it. Yeah, this is the bad bearing right here. So to get this out, we have to press it out. Good thing I bought a press a couple years ago. Hardly used it, but it was worth the investment. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it. And I don't want to pay someone to do it because I'm the kind of guy that if I could fix it, I would do it. Oh, this works perfect. You want it to fit in. You want it to fit in, but not go through, but yet still has enough surface to catch, so when you press it out, it'll come out. So this fits right in there perfectly like that. I'm gonna center it. Make sure that we are centered. There it goes. Came out. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is bad. There's some rust marks, there's some grinding marks, like right here. And if you turn these, you can see the markings on there like that. This was, I know which ones. This is the inner bearing and the outer bearing. I think they're the same size, but I'm not sure. So we'll take it to the shop, get a new one, and then when we get back, we'll put the new ones in together. All right? I'll see you when I get back. So after 4 hours of trying to find these parts for this trailer, I went to 4 different trailer shop, boat shops, parts and services. I ended up going to a Ranger dealer which had the parts. I didn't want to go there because I knew that they were gonna charge me a lot for these parts. But at the end, I finally decided to go because I was tired of driving around looking for these parts and no one had it. So here are the list of the parts that I got for this trailer. Remember, this is a 2001 Ranger 518 VX. So if your trailer is different years, you might not have the same parts. I bought some marine grease, and these are the bearings that are for this trailer here. These are the bearings right here, as you can see, and these are the part numbers for that right here. I bought 4 bearings because I'm going to change both sides. Brake pads, you see the parts number there, and the seal, the wheel seals, these are the parts number there. So the total came out to, just those parts there came out to about $224. And then I also bought the brake grease, the marine grease, which is another about $16. So you're looking at about $240 total for all these parts. So let's get back at it and put it together. The first thing we're going to start doing is packing these bearings in with grease. And the best way to pack the grease into these bearings is to pack it in by slapping it. Here, I'll do this. This is a little bit too much grease, but I'm packing both of them. So you want to take your bearing. This is the new bearing, and just slap it. Just slap into it. And how do you know that you slap enough? When you start seeing it come out through the side here. So just turn, pack it in, just slap it in, force it into the bearings there. Pack it in. Pack it inside, force it in. So pack it on this side. On this side. So you can do this side too, pack on this side too. Just make sure. Pack it inside the crack. Oh. Pack it inside the crack. Pack it in. Okay. No, that one. So we'll leave this one here. We'll pack this one too. Just slap it in. Slap it. Slap it in. Make sure it's in there. Do you see any space that doesn't look like it's packed like this right here? Just pack it in. It doesn't harm you to put more grease in there, as much as you can in there. So now we're going to go press that in. And what you also want to do too is on the seal here, you kind of want to put the seal in there like that. I usually would put some grease on the edge here, so when you press it in, it'll go in. And also I want to put some grease inside here. You could do this after you press it in or before you press it in, that's fine, it doesn't matter which way. Another way to press this in is if you take a piece of wood, like this, and you can put it on top and just hammer it in. You can just hammer it in and then take a look to see if it's even. If it's not even like this, then you hit the side that's not even and you just push it in all the way. And once it goes in where it levels out with this here, then you should be good. But since I got the press, I'm gonna press it in. It's good to have something that is the same width as this or even bigger if you want. But since I have this one, which is the same diameter, I'm going to push it into this way. It's pretty even, pretty flat here. Okay. Pack it in with grease. Pack it in with grease. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean this rotor. Clean all the grease off. There you go, it's good. Okay, put some grease inside the hub. Hub. Put the bearing in first. Bearing faces in, like this, faces in. Then we'll put this in here. We got the D in there correctly, the D shape. Just pushing the bearing in. So how do you know you've gone far enough? Go until it gets tight, then back off a little bit. It's starting to get tight. Right here is where it's tight. That means the bearing's pushed in tight. So you want to back off a little bit, just so that there's room for the bearing to move. So right now we're good. Another way to test it is hold this and rock it back and forth. If you have some movement, that means it's not tight enough. But when you're pushing it back and forth and there's no movement, but you're pushing front to back and there's no movement, that means you got it tight enough in there. So right now it's already tight. I want to make sure that we're tight. You don't want to go too tight because you're putting too much pressure on the bearings in there. So you want to just barely enough, just so that the bearings have free play. And then, like I said, to test, push it back and forth. If you feel some play, that means it's not tight. If I feel a little play, so I'm gonna tighten it a little bit more. No play. So which is good. Now, next is to put the caster nut on. Make sure that the caster nut lines up with the hole right there. And take the pin, push it through, take your plier, bend it down, bend it so there's no way of that thing turning back. All right, but I want to make sure we get some grease in there. Whatever grease you have left, put in your hubcap and wipe off the excess. The hubcap in. So instead of hitting the hubcap like this, you might break it. It's wood. Put it on. Hit it. You see how it's not lined up right here? It's not lined up. Hit the other side so it lines up. All right, we're good. It's lined up pretty good. Pretty well. Now, new bearings, you spin it, you don't hear anything anymore. There we go. All right, now the brake pads. So it goes in this way. You see the clip? This is the outer one because the clip goes in like that. The other side clips in this way, like that. So the way it fits in, just make sure that you got the right side. Slide the bottom in, slide the top in, and it stops in right here. So right now we got the brake pads on, but we have to push this in, like your old brake pad, and put it on like that, and we're gonna push it in. All right. Before you push it in, make sure that your brake fluid cap is off, because it might be pushing it up. All right, once it's pushed in, release the seat clamp. All right, let's see if it fit. Oh yeah, perfect. So the brake pads go in there, but put this clamp on first. This way. Clamp it in. The brake pads in the other side. Clamp this in right there. All right. Put that in. Clamp this over. All right, and we use our number 13. Tighten this up. There you go, it's tight. I don't know what the torque is, but just make sure it's tight. All right. So now we're good. Make it nice and shiny. All right, so we'll drop it down, then we'll tighten all the bolts up, and we should be done with this side. All right, let's tighten it up. All right, we should be good. I'm gonna add some more fluid to here. All right. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you made it this far, if you don't mind hitting the subscribe and liking the button, and then also make a comment. And before you guys comment on why I didn't pump grease in there, I used my finger and I just packed it in with my finger. On the hub, the wheel hub there's actually a hole where you can unscrew and you can pump in grease in there without using my finger like how I did. But I did not have a grease gun, so that's why I use my finger. But if you have a grease gun, you can just pump the grease in there. And also at the end of the video, I didn't put it in there, but because if I put new brakes in, if you saw the video in the front, there's a surge up there where I took my screwdriver and I kind of pushed it. Well, after you put the brakes in, it's recommended that you push that lever in the front a couple of times to engage your brakes. Your brakes are already loose in the back, but if you push that rod, I forget what that's called, it's like a surge rod or surge for the master cylinder up there. You push that a couple of times to engage the brakes in the back so that it's not loose. Some other people might not do it. They said when they take it on the road, it's gonna engage anyway, so you could do that too. But that's another way to finish off your work on the brakes. And thank you so much for subscribing, and God bless.